Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is 6 p.m. West African time where I am right now. I'm broadcasting live from Lagos, Nigeria. So thank you for joining. All right, this is good. All right, I can see Dr. May's already here. Wow, I like someone who's on time. I like an on time person. Accepted your request, Dr. May, so you should. Okay, it's no longer there. If you can't come live after, you could just send it again. And then, okay, yeah. Yay! Look at this beautiful woman. Eh? So I just saw a song came on my mind. This pretty woman. Good evening. How are you? How are
I'm
you?
very well, thank you.
Fantastic. Lovely, lovely to have you here. Welcome, everybody. This is Wadi in Waiting. We are a global platform of kingdom builders, and our role is to help people activate their identity in God, find healing and hope, especially during the waiting season. And it is such a privilege and an honor to have a woman I truly admire, Dr. May. By the way, Dr. May, I'm wearing my glasses because of you today.
No, I decided not to wear glasses today, I beg.
I said
I was
no, because
like,
I have to, since I'm going to be asking Dr. May some hot questions, I said, let me wear my glasses like a professor. I mean, Dr. May is, you admire her too. Dr. May, your admirers are already putting it down there. Okay, but let's stay focused. Let's stay focused because, we're on to an amazing time today with Dr. May. And I was looking at your website and I loved your one-liner, a vanguard of empowerment and beauty. I think that's amazing. That encapsulates who you are. And then the truth of matter is, when I think about you, I think about a multi-hyphenate, somebody who is multi-talented, multi-capacity. I mean, Dr. May, you're really
this,
special.
this,
I mean, you
this, this,
straddle
this,
multiple hats.
this tie is
Uh,
very tight.
so it's blocking the expansion of your head, eh? And then it's going big. The entire cannot contain it because you know what I mean. Yes, I mean. But Dr. May is incredibly accomplished. I'm a fan of her work and what she does, multiple spheres. And that's why in this Wadi Wadi stories, I thought Dr. May has to be the person to open it up for January. Because I thought her story is going to inspire so many people of how to live a truly how the purposeful life, basically. And that's why she is the first person. Dr. May, are you ready? Because I'm ready to just go out with the questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fantastic. So this is going to be a Q&A. Basically, we're just going to discuss. I mean, I have a list of questions, but I'll just let the Lord just
Lead.
lead us and guide us, as the questions go. But I think one of the things that I'm very curious about you is in a society where people have definitions of what a woman should be, you sort of you're an enigma. I don't know how to put it. So I mean, how did you, I mean, your 20s and your 30s, it looks like you are on fire to achieve. You are, driven to achieve and everything. So how did you personally define waiting for what the society thinks you should be waiting for, to actively focus on, your purpose and building purposefully in that season? How did you do that? You know.
I think that most women are always in waiting. I think
Yeah.
when we were born, they
Mm.
basically imbibe waiting in us. Like, even if you speak to a
Mm.
12-year-old, she's telling you about the husband she's going to marry and when she's going to get
Mm.
married.
Mm.
And you will see that. So the waiting, the only thing that then happens as you get older is the
Yeah.
patience has to wear off. When you're younger, you know
Mm.
that at so time this will be
Mm.
important. But then it
Yeah.
gets to that point where you thought that it should align and it's not aligning. You start to get
Mm.
impatient and it starts to affect every other thing that you do because you feel that something has not aligned the way it should, the way you were taught it should align.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
think the waiting thing is for everybody. It's just gets weightier as you get older. And for me, I would say that my plan in life was to get married in at 20 something, highest
Wow.
25. And
Wow.
that
Okay.
was how I thought about it. But as I got older and I started to realize what achieving meant,
Mm,
I started to like, okay, perhaps I have to. Things started determining that for me, like how my goal set determining when that
mm,
is appropriate for me. So by the time I got to 25, I was thinking, what am I doing trying to get married at 25? You know,
mm,
but for me, I think that having a family was the most important thing for me, and also making sure that I'm with someone that helps me reach my highest self, my highest potential.
mm,
I think that was the two things that were really, really important to me. Of course, I want to be, you have to love who you're with, but
yeah.
these things were very fundamental to me that I become my highest
Mm,
self. And so I think that
mm,
helped me see the people that came into my life, whether they got to marriage or not. But I would say that there was a time in my waiting that it became like, what's going on? Like,
mm.
what's like, you know, each time you feel like, okay, I'm there. It's like you're not
Yeah.
there. And I tell you, you will know as a PhD candidate, as someone who has been a PhD candidate, you know that the worst waiting is when you think you were done with your thesis and they tell you that you are not even there yet. That's
100%.
the exact feeling you feel when you feel, okay, why is this not happening? And so for me,
Mm,
that was what it was for me. And there was a time I said to feel that. And I would say that phew, it almost took me into making certain mistakes in life.
mm,
But I will give glory to God that if God allows us to bear the consequences of many of our decisions, so many of us will not survive. So that's why no
mm,
matter what, I still give glory to God for the
mm,
ability. But I think as we speak, I will tell you
mm,
what I learned about that
mm,
time.
mm. Thank you so much for sharing. And I like how you already delved into the fact that it was not rosy, because you know how it is. Some people just say, you hear people say, just keep living. like
Mm,
like
mm,
you're not human, right? So I mean, as you were
yeah.
talking, and I'm like, you said, you almost made some mistakes. How did you, can you like share a vulnerable moment? Because a lot of people about you, Dr. May, that you're real. A lot of people try to floss. No, it just happened. I was just. But can you share a vulnerable moment? So you began to ask God, during your waits, God, what's happening? Like, did you ever get to that point? And what did
Yeah.
that
No, I,
experience teach you about trusting God? Yeah.
I got to that point many times, many, many
Mm.
times, because
Yeah.
at your 30s, you feel okay. At this point, nobody will say, what are you waiting for? But in my late
Mm.
30s, from after 35,
Mm.
when I became the only friend that was not married, and
Mm.
when the friend that was the closest to me, I'm 6 years older than, got married, and it
Wow.
was almost like the veil that was covering me just unleashed, you know
Mm.
and you don't even know how to feel. I'm happy for my
Mm.
friend, but
Yes.
people now boldly start asking me what's wrong. That couldn't
Mm.
even ask me what's wrong, start asking me. So it's one thing to have your pressure, but the pressure that was coming from other people and the
Yeah.
yardsticks that people were using to measure
Yeah.
you. So it was really a down moment for me, where I'm so happy for my friend because we've talked about this, and then it's almost like the spotlight that is now shining on
Mm.
you. Like, you see
Yeah.
now, you yourself, you are older, you didn't.
Mm.
And I don't even want to talk about what that does to your friendship dynamics.
Mm.
That one has its own pressure. But for
Mm.
me, I just said to myself, May, you are achieving it. If you want to do anything, you get to do it. Anything you want to do in life, you get to do
Yeah.
it. Like, you really
Yeah.
get to do it. Why is this one hard? Why?
Mm.
Every time
Mm.
you choose to do something, you get it done. This thing cannot be hard. I looked around and thought, there are people who show interest in me, who talk about marriage around me. Okay,
Mm.
look at it. I looked at them and I counted them all. And the thing
Wow.
about your rating
Wow.
season is that people will always give you that whatever, that I want to marry you, but they will never,
Yes.
their actions. In fact, what I learned
Mm.
about this waiting time is that when a man is ready to marry you, there you cannot, don't second guess it. You cannot second. Every other, all these people I counted, I second guessed. And you always
Mm.
tell yourself, oh yes, there is. So, and I looked through all these people that were proposing their whatever, and I'm like, who would I stick to? And I
Yes.
went to the person that was the least, if in terms of finances, in terms of, he was the least.
Okay.
And my
Okay.
thinking behind that was that at least this person's ego will not be too much, and I will be able
Mm.
to reach my highest self. You see my
So,
logic and all that. But
logic has been,
my
yeah.
logic, but the truth is that I also knew that I was shortchanging myself. One thing I will
Mm.
always give myself in my relationship with people is that I will
Mm.
never lie to you. I will not say that I'm not a
Mm.
saint, but I know the things I'm good at and things I will not go to a man and say I love you when I don't love you. I don't do that.
Mm.
Most men will
Okay.
say I'm very tactful. I won't do that. So
Mm.
in this situation, I chose to go with this person, and
Mm.
so I could have been married to someone else.
Mm.
This is something that no one knows on Instagram.
Mm.
Nobody knows this. I
Yeah.
was, I would have been married. I not that I would have been, I was also setting my wedding.
Wow. So you're
My
giving us,
event planner, my
yeah.
event planner that planned the wedding that everybody knows was
Yeah.
planning my wedding.
No. Wow. Dr. May, I
But
respect your courage. Your courage is on another level because so you were
yes,
planning that wedding and you called it off, or what happened?
everything, we when everything is going on, when you are getting married because it's time, it's different from
Yeah.
when you're getting married because it's right.
Hmm.
For me,
Talk to me about that. I
it
like that.
was,
When you're getting married
yeah,
because it's
because
time, time in terms of what people say is the right time for you, as against what is really right for you, right?
yes, I knew
Hmm.
it was not right for me. But
Okay.
I started to feel that everything I wanted in marriage was not real. I was
Ah, I
wishful
began to
thinking.
second guess whether it was a fairy tale,
Yes.
right? Maybe.
Everything
Hmm.
I'm thinking is a fairy tale. You can never get this
Hmm.
kind of man. You can never get that kind of man. All these things you want to be feeling, you cannot feel it.
Hmm.
Forget about it. It's
Hmm.
about a choice. You need to make a choice.
Choice,
And I
yeah.
said to myself, May, you are the kind of person that when you say something, you will do it. If you
Hmm.
decide you're going to be with a man and respect a man, you will do it. And that's exactly what I decided to do. I was going to do
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
did that. I
Yeah.
said, I'm going to respect this person. I'm going to, and I
Hmm.
did all that.
Hmm.
So while the person is busy professing love to me, I was not confessing love, but I said
Hmm.
I was confessing duty.
Hmm.
And I said, you can count on me when this is in this. You can
This,
count on me.
yes. Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
count on me to be a good wife. You can count on me
Hmm.
to be, but I'm not going to lie to you. This is not, I'm not here.
Yeah. You're not feeling, not doing gish gish, not there,
It's
you
not
know?
dish for me, but I
Yeah.
said, I have done the unthinkables in my
Hmm.
ambition, in my
Hmm.
I got on doing that. And
Hmm.
but one day, so many things. I know when these things are happening, you're taking a lot of things that you shouldn't be taking, but you're taking it anyway.
Yes. Yes.
One day, I said to God, God, you have not brought me this far.
Hmm.
And God knows my story, and God knows where I came from, and God knows the things I saw. And I said, you have not brought me this far
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
let this institution destroy what you have done. Because
Hmm.
I felt it deep in my heart
Hmm.
that I felt it. You
Hmm.
can't be wanting to get married and it's heavy in your heart. You can't.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's heavy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And one day, several things had happened. I'm not going to go too deep into this story
Yeah.
because the truth is
Yeah.
that this whole story is a testimony.
Hmm. Yeah.
This whole story is a testimony, and I don't want to go into deep into it.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I prayed to God about this, and something happened that triggered me even the most. And I just said to the person, you know what? Let's not do this.
Hmm.
Locked. I block the person because me, when I they block everywhere. You can't
Hey,
touch me. You can't
block, block,
do this.
block, block, block.
No. I know I'm not angry, oh, but I know I'm not supposed to do this.
Do this, yes.
And I went another route, which, like I said, I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean that's private. I know it, but I mean I applaud
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I went another route that God now even arrested me even more there and
Yeah.
say, my dear, I have plans for you. You have to wait. I
Glory to
have plans
God.
for you. You have to wait. And then at the end of the day,
Yeah.
one thing that I said that I always tell people, anybody
Mm,
that is not married that is my age,
mm,
is you should not want. You should not
mm,
want it. Not
mm,
that you shouldn't want marriage. Your desires are
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so Dr. May, you're buffering a bit, but
that's what
whilst
it's with my life.
yeah. Sorry,
I
we lost
became
a bit. So you said you should not want it. What does that mean? What does you should not want
shouldn't
it mean?
your desires are valid,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't want anything that deeply.
Okay,
You know,
I
when you
get
say the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You
want.
don't need to want or want
Because you're
what God has
actually
already
already
given.
complete and whole anyway. So marriage is
Exactly.
not,
You
you
should
don't need it to complete you, right?
you don't need
So
it to complete, but I can't sit down here and say it's not a desire. Oh, it
yes,
is
I get
desire,
it.
but you need to be content. You need to be content with where you're at. And that
Yeah. Yeah.
and I had to be content. And that's why if you go back and see watch my 40th birthday,
Yeah.
it was a marriage. It was a marriage. I never
Wow.
celebrate myself like that. If you, everybody that I
Yeah.
celebrated, so everything that I bought for my kini,
That
all
one
their
that didn't work
shebi,
out, yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
I used it in that. It's my money. So, by the way, it was all my money.
Mm.
So nobody's money was inside. I I told my planner, see, you are now planning my birthday. I told my friends, but I should be a beg, sorry, no, Aya, just do,
Wait,
use
till
their
when for
shebi
your
here.
birthday? Your 40th birthday.
Everything, all the song, all the
I love it.
music that they were going to sing in my wedding, they
Yeah.
sang it on this, everything.
I
We
love it.
ate the I came out with all the Anna. The only thing I didn't wear was a white dress, but I wore the I celebrated myself, and genuinely so. It was not I was and I became so free. I wasn't looking for marriage anymore. I said, you know what? I'm
Mm.
content with being who I am.
Hallelujah.
And I've been able to speak to a lot of people in their waiting
Mm.
and tell them that, when you start to appreciate
Mm.
what being single is, when people see you that are
Yeah.
married and they see you and they
Yeah.
are jealous of you, you know
Yeah.
that you are there when you are happy genuinely. My friends saw
Mm.
me, saw how happy I was.
Yeah.
So by the time I met my husband, I was
Mm.
not looking for a husband.
Mm. That is so good. You know, Dr. May, I hear people saying this. I've never heard anybody explain it the way you explain it, and I love it. Because what you're saying is not about not having the desire. It's about being so happy and full in your life as it is right now. And then from that place of happiness and fullness, you live a good life. And then whatever it is you're waiting for meets you happy, meets you full. I mean, that's amazing. I love the way you explain it. Because some people always say, no, 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 but you should just be content. You should not want it. But no, I love the way you said you can want whatever you're waiting for, but live a happy life, live a full life. Now, something comes to my mind. First of all, I want to celebrate your high sense of self-awareness, because I mean, I faced a similar situation and I was not able to handle the pressure, but you faced it and you said, no, I'm not going to compromise. So how did you deal with the pressure, the external pressures, people setting their own timelines for you? Like, but yeah, maybe you're too choosy. Some people told you that, right? You're too choosy, right?
I attacked them.
You
I
attack
attacked
them.
them.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Tell me
I attacked
about
all
it.
of them. I even cut one of my friend off. And I said
Wow.
to her, when you are 40
Yeah.
and you're not in a relationship and you are not married and you don't have
Mm.
children, then come and talk to me.
Look at that.
When don't ever tell me it's my fault. You come, some just the audacity, and they just, we Nigerians at
Yes.
times, we just open our mouths, we just yap things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're choosy because the person knows people that I know and wondering why, how am I not? I said, first of all, I'm not looking for a rich man. I'm not looking for
Mm.
all those things that matter to you people. They
Yes.
don't matter to me. So why do
Wow.
you think it must be my fault if I'm not saying yes to this person? It must be my fault if I'm not saying yes to that person.
Mm.
Oh God.
Wow.
But anyway,
You are
I,
strong
I
girl.
told I told I told pastors, stop praying for me. When they say if you have prayer points, prayer points, when they are saying they're praying for singles, I don't come out. I sit down.
Mm. Wow.
I had to tell my parents, when we are saying those family prayers, when they will say,
Yeah.
Father Lord, oh, our daughter, I
Yes.
had to tell them,
Yes.
please stop. And I had to beg my parents to start praying for me in Thanksgiving. Only pray for me in Thanksgiving. Only thank God for me. Only
You
thank
don't
God for
talk
me.
that
I
one.
had to stop doing that
Don't
because
talk to that
every
one.
time I stopped praying about marriage, I
Mm.
stopped praying about marriage because I feel like sometimes as Christians, we feel
Mm.
like we're exercising faith, but we're exercising frustration and anxiety.
Mm. Ah,
God
that's the
heard me the
word.
first time. God heard
We
me the
feel
first
we're
time.
exercising faith, but we're exercising frustration and anxiety. So the prayer itself is really
Yeah,
frustration and anxiety, not faith.
it's just frustration and anxiety. If you
Mm.
believe that your God is not a deaf God, that you're not serving an idol, He heard you the first time. He even heard you before you opened your mouth to speak.
Yes, before you were born, he knew you.
Did you
Yep.
did you
Yep.
did you just can you just trust Him and just do you?
Mm.
Trust Him
Mm.
and live your life. Just trust Him and live
Mm.
your. And I know I say it and it sounds very difficult because it's difficult. It was
Yeah.
difficult for me. I
Yeah.
thought I could do it myself, but I think that when you come, there are certain things where God arrests you, certain situations that you find yourself and God arrests you, that you start asking yourself, who sent me? Who sent me this message that I went on my own?
Mm.
My
Yeah.
dear, forget. I
Yeah.
think that some people, sometimes when people give testimonies about what God did for them, I always say that people do not talk about the lessons behind the testimonies.
Yes.
You know,
That's why today we
you
must talk
don't
about
say
the lessons.
the
We must.
lessons.
But before we talk about the lessons, I want to talk about identity. How did you protect your sense of identity and self worth? In a society where people tie a woman's identity, as I mean, that's my research work, right? It's all around,
Mhm.
the psychosocial factors that how they affect a woman. But how did you protect your identity, okay, and your self worth, and what faith perspective did you have that anchored you to say, you know what, I'm not defined by all this, even if society says what defines me. What you do?
Um, I think I benefited from my very nature of being very oblivious to people. Normally, people will say I'm
Hmm.
a little bit aloof.
Okay.
Like I don't notice what I don't care about.
Hmm.
Like
Okay.
so
Okay.
so you might tell me that this person does not like me, and I don't notice that they don't like me because I didn't even know that they existed. So I don't know that they don't like me. So I walk into it.
Ah, all your
So
haters. I tell them collect their hello.
no, but it's the truth. So there's certain people I don't block because I don't see them as a threat. You can watch
Yeah.
me on Instagram, you can look at me. I don't just care. When I care, maybe that's when I start to check my worth. And when I start to care, I now start realizing there's something wrong somewhere with me, not
Mm.
the other way around.
Okay.
When I
Okay.
start, that worries me when I start to care.
Mm.
Why am I caring? Why do I care about this? Why do I care? I start asking myself, why do I care
Yeah.
about this?
Yes.
So I thank God for the ability of being self-aware most of the
Yeah.
time. Self-aware, but not necessarily. I'm not always aware of everybody.
Yes.
There's a good side to that, it protects me when I'm not aware of it. But the bad side is that sometimes you might say certain things just because you're not really noticing, because
Yeah.
everything has to be something you care about. So I
Mm.
know that. I know that part, that thing, that it shields me, but it also
Has its downsides.
it
Yeah.
rubs, yeah, it has its own downsides as well.
Yeah.
So I think that the advantage of it is where I protect my identity, who I am, and that started as a child. It's not something that you just build
Yeah. Mm.
today. Most people who went to secondary school with me will always say that I haven't changed. At the core aspect of me, the only thing that they will say has changed is my femininity. That's
Okay.
all.
You've been, were you a tomboy?
To the core.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. Oh, let's see a picture. Wow. Maybe that's why you were strong willed, thinking about it, because for you to have owned your tomboyishness and not let, because people will tease you again, why behave like a boy and not let it get to you, that definitely will build your strong willed muscles. And that is, amazing. So before we talk about lessons, another thing I want to talk about is what specific habit or discipline did you cultivate in your years of waiting that are foundational to you now? Because I remember when I talked to you sometime last year, you just had your baby, but you already do 10 or 20 things. I'm like, don't go me. Like, how are you still doing 10 or 20 things? So what are the habits or the disciplines you cultivated during your waiting season? Because I believe that every season God allows us to go through, you know, is because there are things that God wants us to learn. So what are the things you learn? What are the habits or disciplines you cultivated that you can now say, oh, I'm glad I learned this, or I'm glad I did this because it's helping me now?
I would say independence is very important. Like my independence, I became independent as a teenager, doing
Okay.
things myself, financially and otherwise.
Okay.
And it helped me really appreciate, you know,
Mm.
living life, how you spend, how you
Mm.
value money, how you value things.
Mm. Mm.
It also helps me. The other virtues are like, I always I always tell myself as a teenager, nothing is a do or die affair. So anytime
Mm.
I go anywhere and
Mm.
I see people, I always tell myself before I get anywhere, I need to decide who I will be and what I want the outcome of that place to be for me, you
Okay.
know. And one of the core things is nothing is a do or die affair in the sense that no matter where, I will never compromise my principles because nothing is a do or die affair, you know. I
Mm.
before I get anywhere, I tell myself what I was. I always tell young girls there, especially when we are growing up, our relationship with
Mm.
men and boys and all that, it
Mm.
really, really shapes who we become. And I always tell young girls that if you don't decide what this conversation is going to be, the
Mm.
conversation will decide for you. So you have to
Mm.
decide ahead of time.
Yep.
So before I
Yep.
go anywhere, I decide this is what
I think we have there's a bit of a network glitch there. Okay, so decide where the conversation will take you before the conversation decides for you. So having that clear sense of purpose really is very, very important. I really admire a lot of things Dr. May is saying because I see that Dr. May has very, yeah. So the network is
sorry,
breaking. Yeah, it was breaking a bit, but are you back? Okay, yeah, I can see you now. The network was shaking a bit. Can you hear me, Dr. May?
yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Yes. Now I was just reiterating
No,
what you
sorry, I
said.
was just saying, I was just you that hear you loud and clear.
Okay, okay, okay. No, I was reiterating what you said about deciding what the conversation will be. If not, the conversation will decide for you. And I really like that. I really like what you said there. Okay. So now let's go to lessons because I feel like thank you for telling us you can hear us. Thank you. So I feel like this is something that people wonder why. I was listening to a lady saying that she wondered why her life was always a waiting life. Like she always did things after every other person. So when you reflect on when you met your husband after you've done what you've done that amazing birthday, you celebrated yourself, you're living free and all that. What did the season reveal to you about God's timing for you? Okay, and what do you think that God needed to build in you or remove in your life before He made that connection? So when you look back, what does that look like for you?
I think that is even not just for me, it's also for my husband. I think we both confess the same things, like
Okay.
the personality we both have and
Yeah.
how we both align wasn't
Yeah.
something we've always had. They were things that life had to teach us. Life had to teach us just what is important. Life had to teach us the things that are not that important. Teach us how to have our own peace, you know, and all of that. And when I look back, like my husband tells me sometimes that when he tells me stories about himself, like a certain telling stories about myself, me and time, and he will say, me and you at that time, forget it, you know.
Oh,
But
wow.
life has taught us so much, you know. Life has taught us so much that, I mean, we barely. I don't even have to explain it. Like, it's not. I couldn't have prayed to God for the man that I have, especially because, like I told you, what I was happy to say, and
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a network glitch. Yeah.
I was letting you something you just say, May, just write it, just list it. I can hear you actually.
Okay, yeah. So you were saying the last thing I heard was that you couldn't have prayed for the man that God sent to you, but you were saying about a list. Do you say you wrote a list, or what did you say? I missed that.
Do you want to put me back and bring me back again, just to keep it steady?
Okay, you want to leave and come back? Let me see that.
Yeah, why don't you? Yeah, get me to leave and come, and I'll come back so that.
Let me see if I can. Just a minute. Remove you from the call. You would have to leave Instagram by yourself. That's the best way for you to leave and come back. Aha, fantastic. Okay, so Dr. May, you left Instagram. We're still live. Dr. May is coming back. She just thought she would leave and come back so that she would get her network working. But I've learned so much from Dr. May. If you're watching live, I hope you've learned a lot. You know, one of the things I was going to say before the network had a bit of an issue was the fact that she said she didn't even pray specifically for what God gave her. And what it taught me was, honestly, God is really mindful of us. And I think that's Jeremiah 29:11. Before you were born, I knew you. So literally, God knows us, and God is so mindful of us, and God knows what is best for us. So sometimes we feel like we are not getting what we want in life because maybe we're not working hard enough, or praying hard enough, or hustling hard enough. But the story she was sharing, I hope she comes back soon, just lets me know that it's not about all the things we think. It's not about how hard we're hustling, or how hard we're praying, or how hard sometimes God knows us so much that God knows that God needs to take us through a process. Yeah. God knows us so much that God knows that He needs to take us through a process of character development through the waiting season, whatever we're waiting for. And through that process of character development, we're becoming better. So sometimes we're like, God, I want it now. Like, I want this thing now. And God is saying, you're not ready for it. If I give you, you're probably going to mess it up. But if I give you, right, you are not going to handle it well. And so sometimes God doesn't give us what we think we want because we're not the version of us that is ready for it. And I think that's what I was hearing her say. You're not the version of it that you're ready for it. Dr. May, when you're back, let me know so that I can add you. So Dr. May, when you're back, let me know so that I can add you back to the message. You know, I'm trying to look out for you, see if you'll come back, but I can't see you. So when you're back, please let me know. I want to add you back to the call. Yeah, so basically, I mean, that's what I'm learning from her, because she was saying who her husband was and who she was at that time during their old journeys. They couldn't have, come together. And so sometimes what it is that you think you want, God knows you're not ready for it. You feel, oh, I want this. But God is saying, no, if I give you this, you're going to mess it up. And so sometimes instead of us praying that, God, why you delay what I'm praying for? Maybe we should be asking God, God, what is it that you're trying to work in and through me in this season? What is it that I need to learn? What is it, where in my life, what do I need to correct? What mindset do I need to change? Okay, I can see Dr. May's requests. Let me see that. All right, let me check the request button. Okay, let me accept. Okay, Dr. May, I've accepted you. Right. I'm just reiterating our lessons. Okay. Yep, you're back. Welcome. It's still, your network is still buffering a bit. But I mean, I've been reiterating all the lessons I've learned from you because it's been really powerful. You know, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dr. May?
Yes, I can hear you. I heard
Oh,
everything you
fantastic.
said.
So I was just reiterating all I was learning from you. Basically, I've learned from you so far, and it's been really powerful. So now you were telling me about how, you know, you and your husband, you compared your seasons, and you were able to say, nah, I couldn't have been with you. I couldn't have been with you. So would you say that the waiting season was character development, or what would you say?
Character development. Do I want to go through it again? No. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah.
And even for my husband, he always says, God, I wish I met you a long time ago. You know,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things we would have done quite a lot of things before now. So for me,
Yeah.
I would have loved to have kids earlier than now, but obviously,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm really happy
Yeah.
that I ended up with my friend. And like I said, my wish was to marry someone that would help me reach my higher self. And my husband is my biggest cheerleader in everything I do, you know.
Glory. I love it.
So
So let's talk about motherhood. And you know, your story inspired. I mean, I share a lot of my friends in the forces who are still desire to be a mother. I share your story as an encouragement. So what has that taught you about God's faithfulness? Okay. And what will you say to a woman who feels I'm running out of time? My biological clock is I don't know if I'm speaking again or anything. No, you know what I mean? You know how we can be as women. So what would you say? What has become a mother, you know, thought to you and share an encouragement that somebody here is probably
it's taught me that when God chooses to bless you, it is unimaginable. Like I didn't think, but I didn't think that everything like we're celebrating our 1 year wedding anniversary and we had our
Yeah.
child celebrating with us.
Mm.
Like, you know, like they say, hey, you know, what did they say in the Bible? They say that when
The
God
Lord turns the
so,
captivity. See that one?
captivity of Zion, they were like
They're like
those
them
that
that
dream.
dream. Yeah.
It's still like I remember seeing
Yeah.
looking at my baby and looking at her and like, you sure say na me? You sure say
Oh,
na my child it is? Like, you know, I couldn't believe because I mean, there are some days, even today, I look at her, I'm like, eh?
look at God.
Hey.
Glory to God.
Like,
To God.
when they say those
God.
that dream,
Yeah.
hmm,
Glory to God.
because there were times where I wanted to do certain things my way, and I would have
Yeah.
given it as a testimony. Do you hear? I would have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
certain things I've written that I want to say on Instagram, and I would just say, I'll say, shush, don't worry, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because especially last year when my husband and I went viral for something, I was like,
Yeah.
and people were like,
Yeah.
everybody had their opinions.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, God, I was like, you know what I learned from it? Do not wish you are anybody. Do not wish you are anybody because you don't know the true story. Some people were
100%.
like saying, some people were tapping into people's blessings without realizing. Even don't tap into my blessing too, because you don't know whether you can carry the battle in it.
No, but we can be
No,
encouraged
it's
by
the
your
truth.
testimony now, Dr. May. That's how we're doing this. Like, we can be
No,
encouraged.
understand. Like
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
yes, God, my testimony is there for you to thank God. Thank
Yeah.
God. I know we've had this habit of when people give testimony, they say, come and tap into this testimony. But
Yeah.
what they're not telling you about tapping into the testimony, you're going to tap into the struggles or too. Because it is the struggle that made it a testimony. Are you ready for it?
That's word.
Are you ready for your story to
That's
be that person's
word.
story?
That is word. It is the
Are
struggle
you
that made
ready?
it a
So
testimony.
it's part of it. Exactly. So if you want to, so if someone, when people tell their testimony, they are telling their testimonies to the glory of God, not to the glory of man, not
Man.
to their own glory. It is to
Yeah.
the glory of God. Our duty as the listeners of the testimony is to say,
Yeah.
God, you are faithful. It is
Yeah.
to praise God.
Hallelujah.
I like, it's not for us to tap into the testimony. I understand in this our Christianity of today is tap into, I tap into your testimony. Don't tap into my testimony because I'm not telling you the full story.
I
Many
hear
people are
you.
not telling you the
I
full
hear you on that.
story.
I
They are
hear you
not
on that.
telling you the full story. Some people almost died. Some people almost died. Don't wish for somebody else's testimony. Ask the question, what lesson did you learn in that testimony? What was your lesson? And in that moment of virality on Instagram, I was saying, oh God, some people attacked me. I said to myself, if I told my own story, it is like the story that you people have heard. It will
Yeah.
turn you, if you are not Christian, it will turn you to God. It will turn you to God. And I've not said that story properly. One day when I have the courage, I will say it, because I gave a testimony before my testimony. And that testimony was not read out by the church where I gave the testimony.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me because this
No, I
thing
can
keeps
hear you. I can
buffering.
see it's blurring, but I can hear you. You said the testimony was not read out.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I heard you. Yeah.
It wasn't read out, but when I look back, I was like, thank God they didn't read it out, because that was not a testimony. That was not a testimony.
Yeah. Thank God.
Do you understand what I mean?
I
When
get
people
you.
are
I get
telling,
you. Like, you know how people package things and say testimony. I get you, and I respect you for being honest. That some people that you're looking up to have packaged and said their testimony, because when it's really a testimony, it's undoubted. You know that it is a testimony and all that, and I appreciate that. I mean, so for the woman who feels like I'm running out of time, and they fear, like, okay, my time is up, or I'm running out of time, can I still be a mother and all that? What would you say to them, honestly? What would you have liked someone to say to you? Let's put it that way. Even though, you don't want to tap into your testimony because of the struggles, but what would you have liked someone to say to you at that time, if it was you in that situation with those fears? Yeah.
That's a good question. And if I'm being completely honest, because that's a very, very good question.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for us to dish out advice, but what advice would I have taken at that time?
Yes.
I think that if someone had told me earlier, May, enjoy yourself, celebrate yourself, give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
It's not self-love. I'm not talking about self-love. It's different from
No.
self-love.
Yes.
Like, it's okay. Just leave. And even if you make a mistake whilst doing that, it's okay. It's okay. Just leave. Because imagine if you were not going to be alive in the next 2 years. Will you spend your time doing this? Will you spend your time waiting? You'll never get any of those time back. One thing I would be grateful to God for is that in my waiting, I never stopped working on myself. I never stopped wondering.
What does that look like?
I never
Working on
stopped working on
yourself.
myself.
What's working on yourself? Some people say work on yourself. What does that look like?
It means seeing the world if you can.
Okay.
Leave alone. Very important. Leave alone.
Yeah.
Leave alone.
There's a coach I follow that always emphasizes that. She leave alone, yeah?
Yeah, leave alone. You're going to learn a lot about yourself when you're alone.
Mm.
Live the life that your husband would have lived. I mean, because the truth is that everybody's looking for a helper, including me. You and I, we're all looking for a helper. Even your husband said looking for a helper. You understand? Just, just because the truth is that when get married when nothing you don't miss anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yes.
there are some
When you're
women now, if
complete,
they are not in a
you've done
marriage,
those things for
yes,
yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, you're so used to doing things for yourself that if there's
Mm.
time when you enter your because when women get divorced, what they find difficult is
Yeah.
the inability for them to be independent. They are no more independent. They are very dependent.
Yes.
They've
Yes.
never been
Yes.
independent.
Yeah.
So when sometimes you tell some women leave a bad marriage, they don't know anything else.
Yes. I
They are
agree.
still afraid of the unknown. They've never
Yeah.
lived alone. They
Yeah.
don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how
Yeah.
to live without a man funding something. So
Mm.
even when it looks possible for them to do it, they are scared of it. They've never done it before. Most women who have lived by themselves, who have fed for themselves, done all those things, they are not scared to live an abusive marriage most of the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Mainly
Yes, I
because
agree.
the only thing they have to be dealing with is the societal shame. Then that's one. Than dealing with societal shame, you cannot afford your
Yeah.
life, you cannot do anything, you don't know how to live alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm.
these are the things that I would say working on yourself is being getting to be your complete self, like being self-reliant, emotionally self-reliant, very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy your own company, very, very important,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. 100%. I really, really agree with you because, like you said, a lot of women are looking for, that big God. Somebody who will come and, their Odogu Parara. Come
Yes,
and
now. And
Parara
Instagram
their
is not
life.
helping matters.
Eh? It's
Instagram
not
is not
helping
helping
matters,
matters
right?
now.
No, but there's nothing wrong
Hmm.
with being with somebody who takes care of you. But I like what you said. You're taking care
No,
of
my husband
yourself.
takes care of me. Oh. No, my husband
Exactly.
takes care of me. I can tell you that one for free.
Exactly.
There,
But
there, there
again,
there is a flex. There's a flex that comes with being able to take care of yourself and then marrying
eh,
someone that can take care of you. Eh?
yes, yes,
And
yes,
I've
yes,
heard people say that on Instagram and they talk about intimate. There was this thing that went viral one time, and I was saying to myself, well, at the end of the day, see, when you have to be the one taking care of everybody, it's not sweet.
yes,
It's
yeah,
great, but it's not
yeah,
sweet. It's not
yeah,
nice. It's
yeah,
nice to be taken care
yeah.
of. It feels
100%.
good.
I agree. I 100% agree. And that's what I can tap into. I say clock it. So now, we're coming towards very close to the end. We have a few questions left. So if there's a lady who's like, you know what, I'm in my 20s or my late 30s, and do you advise them that, and they're in this waiting season, do you advise them to just keep living a meaningful life? Or I hear people say, I saw somebody say that one lady took 1 year off to go and find a husband. And she was like, you know what? I've been doing career for years. I've been doing like whatever, accomplishing for years. Okay. I don't know if you can still hear me, Dr. May.
I can hear you now.
Yes. Okay. So I said a lady in her 30s or something, or she's like, do you advise her to keep living a meaningful life, or she should just focus in and zoom in? There was a debate I heard, about one lady telling another woman that at this age, why are you not focusing on this thing, right? What are your thoughts on that? If you were going to, a
Focusing
lady,
on what? Focusing on marriage.
yes, marriage or have kids or something, I've had women who people have told them, at this age, you're in your late 30s or whatever, you should go in. I even heard a story of a woman who took 1 year off. I said that 1 year was to go and find husband because she had been accomplishing, she had become really accomplished. But in quotes, in her mind, this is the only one thing that was missing. That's how people say, this is the only one thing missing. Now I don't understand what is missing, but that's what they say, right? So what would you advise the person? Would you advise the person to just keep living, or to hold in on that area that they feel is missing in quotes?
I don't feel that anybody should hold it. I mean, marriage is not a career, it's not something that you manufacture or anything like that. It's something that happens in your life. So I don't actually think that anyone should sit down waiting and zooming in,
No, so
because
it's not
believe me,
waiting. It's not waiting, but focusing on it. Like how people say
that's what
that.
I'm saying. Like focusing on it. That's what I'm saying. Focusing on it. When you're focusing on that, it oozes, it smells. Everybody sees you, they know that's what you're focusing on. It's not pretty when you see a woman that everything she does is focus, is married, laser focus, marriage. Anytime you talk to her, marriage. Oh, this is a man. The truth is that when you're wired that way, you're going to attract a lot of stupid things, because every time you see somebody, everybody's a potential marriage, a potential husband. And the thing is that it smells like desperation, and desperation stinks. And when people see it doesn't do any good for your personality. You will see a beautiful
Mm.
woman that you admire from afar. Imagine someone say, I like Dr. May, Dr. May, no, all these things. And then they meet me in person and they just realize that my vulnerability moment is that I'm not married. It just reduces
Ah,
everything.
yeah. And it also makes you
So why
susceptible
should I
to
why
taking
would I advise
advantage.
someone to focus on that?
I mean,
It
again,
reduces.
yeah. Again, people say that. I mean, I heard somebody say that if you wanted to do a job, you focus, right? If you wanted to build a business, you focus. Why don't you use the same energy if you wanted to have a kid or if you wanted to have a husband? What are your
That's
thoughts?
what
Because
I
I've heard
did.
people
That's
say that.
that's that's also what I did. I have done it. I did that focus. I told you from the beginning, I focused. I said to myself, I'm successful at other things. Why can't I be successful at that? So I practiced that laser focus now.
Yeah.
And I got burns.
I love
And
it.
I realized that nothing good comes from being laser focused. But I can tell you a few things that
Yes, tell me. Yeah.
intentionality can do for you when it
Yes.
comes to that.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
the truth is that you cannot sit down here and say, "Oh, I want to get married." Meanwhile, you are
Yeah.
you are missing certain behavioral patterns and all of that. I give an example. I
Yeah.
remember I was working in a company, and one day I came in for a board meeting, like everybody. I came in for a meeting, and
Yeah.
everybody was not present at that meeting, but there was one of my colleagues that was present. There was one of my colleagues that was present in that meeting, a
Yeah.
man. And when I came in, we see each other in the office all the time, but I just never speak to each other like any much.
Yeah.
So because it was just both of us sitting in the office, he says to me, "Hey, how am I?" I said, "I'm fine." He said, "Really,
Yeah.
really, like, how are you?" I
Yeah.
said, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
And I don't know. And the way he asked, "How are you?" Like, how are
Yeah.
people say, "How are
Yeah.
you?" But he really, like,
Yeah.
I felt he really, and I said a couple of things, and he said, "Oh, I thought you were married."
Mm.
I was like, "What gave you that impression?" And he
Yeah.
said to me, "You come across very settled. Like, all the time I see you in this
Mm.
office, you
Yeah.
come across, even in your dressing,
Yeah.
everything, like, and I said to me, I'm a man. I feel you have a husband and kids. You behave like
Wow.
that.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
You don't behave like a single woman. You don't." And I was confused. I was
Yeah.
like, "What's that?" I was wrong with how I dress and everything. But there was a genuineness in the way he spoke to me. And I said to him, Can you bring my attention to it as
Yeah.
much as you can?
Yeah.
Please just watch me." And he said, "Okay, no problem." And
Okay.
I was like, I went on thinking, what is he talking about? But each time he pointed it to me, I saw it.
Okay.
Kept seeing it. I saw that my dressing, and believe me, if you go to my pictures
Yeah.
like way back,
Yeah.
you would think I'm younger now,
Wow. Are
and
you
I'm older.
serious?
I looked older. I
Wow. Okay.
dressed a set. Even with me wearing this gele now,
Yeah.
I still look younger than I looked. Yes, I still look younger than I looked way back then. And I think
So
my friends will.
so what I mean, so do you are you saying that when somebody is single, for example, there should be an aura around them saying I'm single? I'm trying to sort of delineate the
Yeah,
point.
I feel that there should be a certain aura. You don't. I give an example. Even in the way you live,
Okay.
like, you can't. You don't. There was a period where my house was a family house as a single girl.
I get you. Yeah.
What, what, what does a man, any potential person that wants to marry, when they come to that, what do they see? They see a man, a potential liability.
Okay. I get you on that. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So there, what I mean, there are a few things. So I'm not saying be laser focused, but you can't say you want to get married, but meanwhile you hang out at certain places. I'm not saying you don't hang out, but I'm just saying you can't say you want to get married and you feel like every time you have to be half naked. You can't say you want to. You are going to attract what you want to attract. You can't say
Mm,
you want to get married, and I'm not saying that if because you want to get married, then you no, I just feel like everybody is different. You
yeah.
have to be intentional about
Yeah.
who who you are, what you're putting out there in order to attract what you are seeking to attract.
Okay, I like it, and then the way I say it is really we're all energy. We all have energy, frequency, and vibration, and so really, from what I'm hearing you say, you're not going to seek like somebody that is missing anything, but your energy and your vibration and how you carry yourself, your aura should have open expectation without being desperately seeking. Did I
Yeah,
describe it
absolutely.
well?
You,
Yeah.
you
So
put
there's
it
just
you put it perfectly.
yeah, so there's that open expectation. Yes, I want this, but I'm not going to seek it. I'm going to attract it with my energy, with my aura, with being intentional about who I am. And that's so. Do you think that's what happened to you? Do you think that's what happened to
Well,
you?
I think that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me eventually.
After you tried your own mathematics and the
My
math was not
mathematics.
matching, eh?
It wasn't mathing. Oh
Okay,
God.
I mean that is good. I like that advice. That's a good advice. So being intentional without being focused in a desperate way is really interesting. So, how has your relationship with God evolved? Because I know that it has evolved, hasn't it? In this whole waiting season and everything. Like now, how do you see God after this your damn that dream moment that's happened to you? You know, how has your
No,
relationship with
I
God?
think that I think that God has in different aspects of my life
Hmm.
made certain things like a dream for me. So this
Okay.
my marriage is just one of a few things that
Okay.
God has done. One of many
Yeah.
things that God have done. I say a few because there are some big moments.
Yeah.
There are some landmark moments in my life, and I think it became a source of my prayer. It's like I
Hmm.
tap into that is where I tap into my own testimony and
Hmm.
say I tap into my testimony as
Ah,
a trust.
yes.
God, I saw you do this.
Yes.
God, you did this one. You did this.
Hallelujah.
You did
Yes.
that one.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because you did that, and it's not because you did, but the truth is that it increased my trust in God.
Mm.
And even when my faith is about to falter,
Yeah.
I'm reminded of His goodness in my life.
Hallelujah.
And my relationship, my marriage, my relationship with my husband started with prayer. It
Mm.
started with us praying together from day one. From the
Mm.
day, not the day we met, but the day we ever started to have conversations, just
Yeah.
talking. It wasn't like we were
Yeah.
talking about love, but
Yeah.
I remember we talked one evening, and it just became hours of talking on the phone,
Mm.
and he was sleepy, and I was sleepy, and it was like I don't know if whether it was me or him. And I say, let's pray, and it
Mm.
became a habit. And then the next morning he called me and I was like, oh, I'm about to start my day. Well, let's pray. And it became a tradition for me. So to be able to, I've never dated or been with anyone that I had that kind of relationship with, where
Uh-huh.
we pray in the morning and we pray at night together. And he lays his hands on my head and prays for me. And
Wow.
I do the same for him. I remember that days where if he goes to bed early, I put my hand on his shoulder and I pray for him. And there are days when I go to bed earlier than him and I don't pray before with
Yeah.
him. I wake up to him with his hand on my head and he's praying for me. So
That's amazing.
when
That's so
people
beautiful.
when women are prayer warriors in their homes, I have a priest in mind, that which is what God has ordained us to be, that we should
Yep.
have priests
Yep.
in our homes.
Yep.
And my husband is that priest. And so every morning he was the one that set the time for the morning family devotion. Every morning we have
Yeah.
a morning devotion in our house.
Yeah.
Even now, I mean, even when he's not around, he will call on video call and
Mm.
join it. So not only did God make because of the choice that God made in my life, it
Yeah.
extended into my prayer life, it extended into my belief in God and my closeness
Yeah.
to God. That even when they say iron sharpened iron,
Yeah.
this is what you need in a partnership when you know you marry someone and he says, hey
Mm.
May, you are backsliding, and I'm like, hey
Mm.
you know. And so not only did all these things help me, but God indeed placed me in a
Yeah.
place where there is someone that can hold me accountable as well.
Oh, that is such a beautiful testimony. Now, for me, that's a testimony. A testimony is not like, look at what God did. A testimony is seeing the fruit of the process. That for me is a testimony, right? The fruit of the process. And I love the way you share your story. So I wanted to just round up the final word. So if there's somebody who's listening, who's waiting, maybe for maybe marriage could be for a child, or it's just, in their waiting season and different areas. Because like you said, we were born waiting. What is your final word of encouragement for that person?
I would say really trust God and be in the place
Mm,
of thanksgiving. Like,
mm,
even if you don't trust that it's going to happen, because sometimes it's not that we don't
mm,
trust God, it's just that we do not find ourselves worthy of that blessing that we indeed desire at
mm,
times, you know. And even if you don't find yourself worthy, still
mm,
trust God and thank Him for all the good things He's doing and that He
mm,
has actually already done. There is nothing
mm.
that we are looking for on this earth that does
Glory to
not really
God.
exist, you
Hallelujah.
know. But the thing is, for it to manifest, for us to really experience it, we need to be in a place of thanksgiving. And thanksgiving comes from a trusting God, that really, really trusting and knowing that God, I know you can do this for me. But you know, I one thing I learned in my waiting time is that trusting God is not about saying, God, I trust you. It's about living a life that reflects that trust,
Mm,
living a life that is
mm,
happy,
mm,
living a life that
mm,
oozes joy. And you know, the funny thing,
mm.
people will feel that joy. You don't need to tell them I'm happy, they will feel
Yeah.
it. And in my case, my friends felt my joy without a husband. People said to me, people call me, some people you even know called me and say, May, you've changed. Something about you. There was something about you.
Oh,
And all they were sensing was my joy. Some people ask me, May, did something happen in your life? Did something happen?
mm,
Nothing, no. But I
oh.
was basking in joy. I started
Glory
noticing
to
things around
God.
me that was so beautiful that I didn't notice. I said, see, single life is beautiful. Oh, how did I not? And I started to go out. I noticed one thing that changed in me, and I started going out a lot. Like
Wow.
my friends will have to come and drag me out. I was once saying,
Yeah.
where are we going? Like, where are
Yeah.
we going? I'm like, it's almost like I woke up. And what I
Yeah.
mean going out, sometimes some people demonize going out a lot. But when I mean going
Yeah.
out, people don't go out with joy. They go out with weird intentions. Like
Yes. Yes.
some people
Yes.
don't go out like I'm going out with my friends and I'm gonna have so much fun. It is
Yeah.
dancing in an empty place where no one is watching and you are still enjoying the dance. It's like,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and I noticed one thing, people were getting attracted to me a lot more. I was
Because it was
attracting a
joy.
lot
Joy
more
is
people.
attractive,
It was
isn't
joy.
it?
It was, and I'll be dancing. I watch people just staring at me because they know I was in my joy. It doesn't matter what song I was dancing. I smelled the
Yeah.
roses. I was smelling the roses. I think that's the best thing. Just always smell the roses. I was no more
Yeah.
waiting for God to do anything. I was no more waiting.
Glory to
I was
God.
living the joy that I wanted to feel. And if you're someone that knows about law of attraction and manifestation and all of that,
Yeah.
they always say to you, feel the feeling
Yeah.
now.
Now, yes. So you are in your completeness now. Your joy was as if everything you were waiting for, you already had it.
I already
And
had
that
it.
and it exuded and it attracted because that was the state in your mind. And that's what faith is, because faith collect things that be not as though they were, not as though they're going to
Yes.
happen, as though it's already happened. So you are really walking in
Yes.
faith. Hmm,
Yeah.
that is powerful, and that is a powerful. If I'm in awe, I mean, my respect and awe of you has gone to notches higher, because you have express the process. A lot of people just give like highlights, but you have taken us on this journey and you've shown us a good place to get to on the journey in where nothing missing, nothing broken. And from that
Yes.
place is with the real place of faith that now brings everything that God has promised to you. Thank you so much, Dr. May. I hope you have been blessed if you watched this or if you're going to watch the replay. And if you want to be part of this platform and this ministry, you can join us 6 p.m. every Wednesday, West African time. Or you can go to my website, talealimi.com/WIW, and I will send you the guide for the month. We've been talking about building this month, and Dr. May's story is like the pinnacle of it. And she shared how she built a beautiful life that attracted a much more beautiful life. I'm so proud of you, Dr. May. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And you
All
look
right.
beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank
And
you, Dr. May.
giving us basketballs on Instagram.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be
I was
like
looking at
you.
things. Please. I was like, is this somebody that is, who is this person? I don't know this person.
I'm just trying
Who
to
is
be
this?
like you.
Who is this fine girl, man?
You know what I mean? You're my inspiration. Thank you so much. All right. All right, dear. Take care.
Bye.